Hi, I'm Paul Tonelli, former park commissioner for the town of Atherton, and we urge you to vote no on Proposition F. Atherton does not need a library in beautiful Holbrook-Palmer Park. Now, the people in favor of the library in the park would have you believe that the park would be good for the library, but the reality is the library would not be good for the park. They say focus on the facts, but if you look at their statements, it's impossible to find the facts. The devil is in the details, and they don't want you to know the details. That's why their statements are so vague. Let's take a look point by point. They say the environmental impact report recommends a 10,000 square foot library. What they don't tell you is that this is nearly 3 times the size of the main building that it would be replacing. And the footprint of the new library would include an area that is currently open space around the main building. They say that funds are already designated solely for library purposes, including construction of a new library. What they don't tell you is that the library doesn't have to be built in the park. Those funds can be used to upgrade, remodel, or replace the current library in its current location. All of the upgrades and services, books, computers, and learning programs they talk about can also be achieved with an upgraded library in its current location. They say a library in the park would enhance open space, but how is this possible? The new library is bigger, and it would be built to provide services for up to 16,000 people in the area. A larger building, more people, more traffic, more cars, more parking needed, all add up to less open space and a more impacted park. As a former member of the Park Commission, I know the land donated to Atherton that created Holbrook-Palmer Park was done so in accordance with Silas Palmer's will to, quote, create a public recreation park. A larger building, serving a number of people that is twice the population of Atherton, infringes on the very recreation for which the park was intended. They propose better traffic safety. Don't believe it. Atherton has no commitment that the Joint Powers Authority would approve the use of donor funds for any traffic mitigation. A library in the park would increase traffic on Watkins Avenue. It would require a new traffic light at Watkins and Middlefield Road, and the traffic plan would include taking land in the front yard of one of our neighbors to install a new right turn lane on Watkins Avenue at El Camino. There has been no guarantee that we won't lose more open space in the future. Parking estimations are incomplete, and there is always possibility we could sacrifice even more open space for parking, which should be dedicated for recreation. Do we really need more asphalt and concrete when the park was designed as a bucolic arboretum provided for public recreation? Also, you have to think about how a new library in the park would affect annual community events, such as our Easter egg hunt and our music in the park. How would the park be able to accommodate those days where the library is open, Little League games are scheduled, and family picnics and parties are going on? They say a new library will stop financial losses Atherton has been suffering on park rentals. What they don't tell you is that our town manager had a plan in place for a third party to manage park rentals that would have actually provided a profit for Atherton. That plan was conveniently ignored in favor of furthering the agenda of a library in the park. I cannot urge you strongly enough to vote no on Proposition F. The Joint Powers Authority would have you believe that a new library in the park is needed to provide services for up to 16,000 people in the area. What they don't consider is that we have a beautiful library in Menlo Park and a remodeled library in Redwood City, each less than 2 miles away for use by the surrounding community. They don't mention it because Menlo Park and Redwood City are not part of the JPA. These two libraries are more than adequate to provide the services needed. A new, larger library in Holbrook-Palmer Park is not needed. What is needed is a comprehensive master plan that would incorporate a new library as part of an overall town center. The current library funds could be used to build a new library as part of that town center. By voting no on F, you can open up the possibility of creating even more open space instead of taking up valuable park space at Holbrook-Palmer Park. We could possibly create yet another park-like setting with a new town center that incorporates a new library. I don't think I'm overstating things when I say that this is a vote that will affect our way of life in Atherton for generations to come. It is our responsibility to protect what valuable open space we have in our town and in our beautiful park. To protect Holbrook-Palmer Park, to maintain our open spaces, and to open opportunity for creative, organized solutions in the future, we urge you, vote no on Measure F.